Bangladeshi man beaten to death and burned over alleged blasphemy in Lalmonirhat district of Bangladesh. Hundreds of people in a Bangladeshi town beat and lynched a man who had allegedly desecrated the Muslim holy book, the Quran. The crowd had seized two men who were in official custody after accusations of stepping on Quran. According to reports, the two men combed through a local mosque for hidden arms and handled the Quran in an offensive way while conducting their search. The deceased, identified as Shahi Dunabi Jewel, was lynched in front of the Union Parshad office. The body was then taken to the highway and set on fire. The victim was reportedly struggling with psychological problems after losing his job as a librarian at a nearby college. Local police found no weapons at the mosque, and the second man is in protective custody. So, oh wow, our good sis Trolls just became a member. Well, thank you for joining Satan's Minions, the Minionhood.
Thank you for being part of the family.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah. So this was a big story that happened within the past week. While, you know, I'm not going to get into that. So the footage of this incident went viral, and I personally watched this man be beaten to death, and I watched a crowd of dozens of people. I couldn't even tell how big the crowd was, torching this man's body, seeing his arms and limbs on fire, and they continue to throw more and more wood on top of his body, like just they're even when he's set on fire and dead, they continue to beat his body and put timber on it to just burn it even more as the crowd chants over and over Allahu Akbar. It's one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen.
Fuck Islam, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. And I posted that video with a warning to my Instagram story, because on my Instagram, you know, that's where a lot of people from my personal life who've known me long before my activism follow me. And I said, like, I want you guys to see. I want you to see the cost that real humans pay for the allegation of blasphemy and desecration. Because a lot of people don't understand why I'm a free speech absolutist. They think it's some sort of far right position, which infuriates me. And it's because there are people like this in this day and age, this month, this week, paying with their lives, lynched by a mob for potentially mishandling a book.
And that's the thing that's so infuriating too. It's that it's so overbroad and so ambiguous what it even means. And all you have to do is claim that you feel offended. So any person, anytime, anywhere becomes judge and jury over these people's lives. And this extrajudicial violence is basically accepted, and it doesn't matter. There's no bookends as to what you even mean. So it's an allegation without any even understanding of what exactly the person's done. A potentially not reverent enough manner. That means 1,000 things to 1,000 different people. And so that's also part of what's so reprehensible about this type of mindset, is it just allows for this mob violence, and also people to just take anything into their hands, whatever they feel personally upset or offended about in the exact moment, can then be turned into this, you know, absolute mob violence, and they feel completely justified and right in murdering another human being.
Yes. So I would like to just note, there were multiple articles I read about this, some from Bangladesh, some from outside the country. There are certain details about the story that are not completely clear. So it wasn't completely clear to me whether this man was beaten to death and murdered before the police could get to him, or on the way that some articles talked about it, it almost sounded as if the police had already had him in custody and then the mob took him from police custody. Now, that detail is not completely clear to me. However, I believe he was beaten to death within close proximity to a police station. Now, one thing I found on my story, and we cannot show you this video. Obviously, you can go find it yourself. But I said, I want you to see the consequences that real humans pay for the allegation, the mere allegation of desecration or blasphemy. Ink and paper is never more valuable than human life. And then I remembered something that I saw Sarah Hayter say in a speech. So paraphrasing her, she said something along the lines of, Islamists see little to no distinction between criticism and mockery, right? So if this is what happens to someone who did something that they perceive to be hurting their sentiments, who they perceive to be desecrating or mocking or mishandling what they hold to be sacred, how do you think they would react to actual criticism? What would happen to someone in this community who maybe wanted to question the standard narrative of the preservation of the Quran? This is why blasphemy and desecration is a moral imperative, and it is critical, and it is the right to offend is a precious commodity. Because if you cannot stand offense, if you cannot stand mockery, what are you going to do? How are we going to protect legitimate criticism in the pursuit of truth? How are we going to protect scrutiny? How are we going to protect free inquiry?
I want to say that go ahead.
You see no distinction between mockery and criticism because of the offense you take from it, how are we going to promote human prosperity through the perpetual process of free inquiry that helps us better understand our objective reality? Okay, sorry, go on.
Hey, I just came up with someone. I want to say that mockery, satirization, all of those things on their own also have extreme value because they themselves lead people to think about things differently, to often, they're part of the quest for truth. The idea that somehow making fun of something is first of all, a Western thing. It's not. And B, that there's what you were saying, yes, the protection of criticism or, analysis or discussion or delving into things. Those are all important. But I'm going to stand behind mockery and satirization and all of those things as equally as important, because that's part of that entire line of this quest for truth, this looking for answers, this questioning, this trying to understand things, this doubting, this open. That is a crucial and absolutely fundamental part of this process of critical thinking.
Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell thingy. If you haven't, I don't know why. What's holding you back? Okay? If you haven't subscribed to our channel, Why haven't you subscribed to our channel? Explain that to us, please. Like, bell, and also if you're not getting notifications and stuff because YouTube is not telling people that we have shows, because YouTube is like, oh, this person told us that they want to get your shows, right? They want to get your videos, but nah, we think is no. And like, oh, they also hit the bell button, but nah, you guys are too controversial. We want to show them mainstream stuff. We want to show them CNN or cat videos or whatever. But even there are people are like, no, we want to see Atheist Republic, and YouTube is like, no, we don't think you want this. We're like, no, please show it to us. We say to you, we want to see Atheist Republic. And YouTube is like, no, we think we know what's better for you than you yourself. So, to solve that, there's a link in the description, which is to our newsletter. So hopefully we could email it to you. So hopefully you get some of our content that way, okay? So, yeah, subscribe to our newsletter as well. And share our videos, because you know, we do get demonetized, that's an obvious, on every one of our videos, so F that, but we don't care about that anymore. But we also get deprioritized, and that's even more damaging to us. Deprioritized, what does that mean? That means we don't show up on the suggested, you know, videos on the right, and all that, you know, on people's homepages, and that's how channels grow. Unfortunately, we can't grow, so we need you guys to share our videos.